All Noah had to do was run a couple more races, and he would clearly be the fastest man in the world. All Sha'Carri had to do was run a couple more races. You can't qualify if you've ran one race, Continental Tour Gold-wise and Diamond League-wise. Come on, man. They got to be out there.
We talking sprint culture, we talking track and field. When the gunshot lick it, give a man the chills. We talking speed demons like Usain. The red track where a legend really makes their name. The US and Jamaica, they run the sprinting game. There's nothing like the Olympics for your claim to fame. When you break the world record, you show you ain't the same. From the men to the women, times are insane. Yeah, we talking sprint culture. We talking sprint culture. We talking sprint culture. We talking sprint culture.
Sometimes with time, you develop different logic when you realize that something's flawed. I've developed a ranking system for the fastest person in the world. It brings in a lot of different things. It brings in...
You know what the ranking system should be? When everybody lined up for the most important race for the year, and the Olympics is the pinnacle of this sport, the guy who won that race is the world's fastest man. If it was...
It's slightly flawed. Formula One,
the Anson ranking system to decide it.
It's called the FITW ranking system, fastest in the world. So just hear me out. Hear me out. It takes a lot of things into the equation. You have to have at least 3 competitions in either the Diamond League or a Continental Tour Gold. At least 3. Okay, that's not actually asking much. 3.
Okay.
I still count windy times, but there's an equation that's been put together where it takes away from the amount of points you can get for the performance with the windy times. Top speeds you've hit have come to the equation, and also how you finish comes into the equation. I have a part of the equation called the MVD, the margin of victory and defeat. So the more you lose, the more you're penalized as the season goes on. So it brings in all those factors: how much you win, how much you lose, top speeds you've hit, and your performances. Now, according to my rankings, if we were to average the performances, the fastest man in the world would be Noah Lyles. Second would be Sha'Carri Thompson. And third would be Akani Simbini. If you take into account having at least 3 performances, it totally changes. The fastest man in the world last season would have been Akani Simbini. Second would have been Letsile Tebogo. And third would have been Akeem Blake. I have an issue with Noah only running 1 Diamond League or a Continental Tour Gold. He ran 1. Sha'Carri ran 1 Continental Tour Gold meet. I understand the Olympics is the biggest race of the year. That didn't come into the equation just because circuit-wise, it's a special case. Now, do you not feel like if you're the fastest man in the world, you should be running a fair amount to be able to establish that?
No.
You think it should just come down 1 race?
This is why you do stupid shit like rank Asafa Powell, who has all the races and the times, but no actual championships, ahead of somebody who literally won back-to-back 100-meter dashes in the Olympic Games and World Championships.
And you value the remainder of the season if only 1 race means something?
I think the world's fastest man is the guy who wins the biggest race. And you think the world's fastest man is the man who runs a whole bunch of races in the back of freaking Italy.
There should be incentive for people to run, for one. And I do think that there is a responsibility to compete. Exemplifying it can't be 1 race. So I just think there has to be, you have to exemplify it. And it ain't even like you blew people out in the race. You ran at the same time as somebody. The fastest man in the world, I get it. If I was to just say who the fastest man in the world was, I would pick Noah. He's got a lot of characteristics that some of the other guys don't. But I'm just saying, if we're going off what we saw, 1 race on the circuit isn't enough.
The reason why I categorically reject every single thing you're talking about with miles an hour and headwinds, who gives a shit? First of all, fans ain't checking for all of that. That's the first thing. That nobody cares. When everybody starts their season at the end of 2023, they have 1 goal in mind: win the Olympic Games. Whoever does that, you become the man or the woman. Punto final. Full stop.
Yeah, who's question? What happens in a year like 2026? Do we just not care about anything? Should people just stay home?
In the year 2026?
Yeah, there's no Olympics, no World Championships.
Maybe at Worlds this year, Sha'Carri gets the better of Noah. And now Sha'Carri walks around, he goes, I'm the world's fastest man. And people like me go, you beat the Olympic champion at Worlds? Absolutely you are.
You've devalued any year where there is no World Championships or an Olympics. Anything outside of that means nothing. So if anything outside of that means nothing, why would anybody care?
Why is Simone Biles the best gymnast in the world? Because she kicks everybody's ass at the Olympics and World Championships. End of story.
They don't have as many competitions, Ato.
You're wrong.
Competitions. They have as many competitions as track and field?
I don't know.
Hell no. They don't. We know that they don't.
Okay, so
I'm saying there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity.
Swimming.
I want to check this. I don't know about the culture in swimming. I don't know if they would classify the Olympic champion as the fastest in the world.
Okay. The 100 is the blue ribbon event in the entire games. By your method, if I was in that final, let's say I got lucky. I outleaned Noah and Sha'Carri and Fred. Now I'm not the world's fastest man. Why? Because even though I won the Olympic Games, I never won a Diamond League race. What was the other category? My miles per hour wasn't right.
Your margin of victory and defeat throughout the season, a bunch of stuff. How much you win, how much you lose, and how much you win or lose by.
You're gonna alienate fans even more. Your method is gonna alienate more fans. Like, hey, I saw him win the Olympics. He's not the world's fastest man. Oh no. His miles per hour and his season was off. So it's actually, who'd you say? You said something ridiculous. Simbine? Did you say Simbine?
You're very disrespectful.
What medal did Simbine get ever?
Okay, but you're putting the emphasis on one competition. He's unable to get the big one. Throughout the season, he's always battling for a win.
That's sports. If you're in the NFL, the Super Bowl counts the most. If you're in the NHL, the Stanley Cup counts the most. This is how sport is. There has to be something that supersedes everything else, no?
I understand, but in those sports, you have to qualify for that. It's not like you have to qualify for the Olympics by winning a certain amount of games. And those games mean something. We have to make the other races mean something, is what I'm trying to say. Yo, I went to this meet in Birmingham. No, it wasn't Birmingham, somewhere local, a Diamond League, and it was pouring rain. Dean Asher-Smith was there. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was there. Sha'Carri Richardson was there.
That's when Dina won.
Yeah, she won. It was pouring rain and it was freezing, right? Now, if that happened in an Olympic final, would we just declare her the fastest woman in the world? Yes. No, we'd have to take some other things into account. We have to take into account how they've done throughout other times when they've competed and raced against each other and what they've done throughout the season. All the weight can't be put on that one race. I know it has been, but if the whole sport's going to mean something throughout the entire year, then other things have to mean something throughout the entire year. That's all I'm saying.
Anson, don't take this the wrong way. You know you're my boy. If you had been through an Olympic final and come out on the other side as a medalist or the champion, you'd never say what you said because there is a difference.
Why can't it be both?
Huh?
You are the Olympic champion. It's still an enormous accomplishment. I would never take away from that accomplishment. It's an enormous accomplishment. But to say that they're the fastest person in the world is where I'm saying, well, you can't really say that. Olympic champion is the prize. Ato, trust me, I know this.
By your fastest woman index, you're gonna get it wrong, and you're gonna put somebody like Akani Simbine, who is competitive on the circuit but can never get on a podium. You're gonna make him the world's fastest man, which of course makes everybody else a joke then.
You're very disrespectful.
So the world's fastest man can't medal at a major. Great.
All Noah had to do was run a couple more races, and he would clearly be the fastest man in the world. All Sha'Carri had to do was run a couple more races. You can't qualify if you've ran one race, Continental Tour Gold wise and Diamond League wise. Come on, man. They got to be out there.
I'm sorry to be the one to breaking news here on the show. The person who wins the Olympics in the 100 is the planet's fastest human.
We may have to agree to disagree, Ato.
We talking sprint culture. We talking sprint culture.